I'm just standing there like, what the just happened? Like, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jalen if you're new here, and if you're not new, hey. So in today's video, we are doing a little bit of a chit chat, a little life update. I really don't have that much going on, but I feel like there are a couple of things that I wanted to update y'all on and just kind of like just talk about in general. So that's what we're gonna do today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video, tell your friends about it. Tell your friends about me. Okay, let's get into it. A little margarita. So it's Luna Azul tequila reposado, and I have two juices in here that I mixed. I have Minute Maid mango punch and the strawberry lemonade mixed. So good. I have a little bit of lime juice, and then I have a little lime slice, and I have two raspberries, which ain't nothing about this margarita raspberry, but it was cute. It's cute in there, and it's sugar on the rim, lime juice and sugar on the rim. I figured let's have a little margarita while we're chit-chatting. So like I said, just a couple little like updates or just things that have been going on recently, and honestly I just wanted to get up here and talk to y'all. First and foremost, I got bit by a dog probably like 3 weeks ago. It's not funny, but it's just like sometimes I be thinking about my life and I'm just like, my life is a freaking movie. Like, I've had some things happen to me in my life. Some things I've done to myself, situations I done put my own self in. We ain't even finna talk about them, but some other stuff, it's just like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. And this is one of them. So I was on the way to work. I said this about 3 weeks ago. I was on the way to work, and it was like the first week of September. It is currently September 29th. So yeah, it was the first week of September. I was walking to work. Y'all know I live super close to my job, and I was walking to work. And in this area, and in a lot of like residential areas, I guess, where a lot of people live, like apartment complexes, a lot of people have pets, specifically dogs. So it's not uncommon to see people walking their dogs around here, like literally any time of the day. Mind you, it was 8 o'clock in the morning. Any time of the day, it's not uncommon to see people walking their dogs. So I was walking my dog. So I was walking to work. It was this woman, this lady. She looked like she may have been like my age. She was walking her dog. Not really quite sure what kind of dog it was. It was some ugly little scruffy black dog, like a mutt. And it wasn't little. It was actually a pretty decent sized dog, like a mid-sized dog. And I thought the dog was gonna come like sniff me or something. On the sidewalk, I was closer to like the buildings and she was closest to the street. And she like moved her dog over a little bit, like pulled the leash. And then he gets closer to me as they're walking by. And like I said, I thought he was gonna sniff me, and I couldn't really see below me because of my bag. And then all of a sudden, he must have got behind me. I didn't even know the dog was behind me. And he bit me on the back of my thigh. And y'all, when I say everything just happened so fast, I feel like, and maybe it was just kind of like my adrenaline, like my fight or flight senses. I was just like, what? It hurt for sure, but I feel like it was like a lot of adrenaline going on that it didn't even really like register to me like immediately that, oh my God, this dog really is biting me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know even how to explain it. If you've ever been like bit by a dog or attacked by something, I feel like you will understand. Like, it's like, you know that the dog is biting you, but it's just kind of like, it just was a lot. So she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then she just kind of like drags her dog away. And I'm just standing there like, what the just happened? Like, what the heck just happened? I was like rushing to get into my job because I didn't know what the bite was like. I didn't know how bad it was. I had no idea. So I'm like rushing to get into my job. I go upstairs, and like on the way up the elevator, I could feel myself like it like really registering to me like, oh my God, you just got bit by somebody's dog. And I started crying on the way up to, well, I didn't start crying until I actually got into our office, like upstairs. So I started crying, and my coworker was like, oh my God, are you okay? Do you need a hug? Like, I had told her what had happened or whatever. And she was like, girl, anyway, they basically was like, don't worry about working, go get yourself checked out, go to the doctor, do what you need to do. So yeah, not a typical Wednesday, not a typical day at work, or on the way to work for me. So I had to get a tetanus shot that same day. The next day I went to a different place I went to patient first and got my tetanus shot. The next day I went to a different place and started my rabies vaccine series, because we didn't know the dog's health history or anything like that. So yeah, I kind of just had to get rabies shots just in case, and take antibiotics so that, to monitor whether or not it was getting infected or anything like that, or to diminish the possibility of it getting infected. So yeah, that's the first thing that happened in my life recently that was absolutely ridiculous, because who gets bit by a dog? Only things like that happen to me, literally. Who gets bit by a dog at 8 o'clock in the morning on the way to work? And my thing is, why are you walking your dog and you can't control him? Why is he biting people on the sidewalk? What is up with that? I've never in my life experienced that. I walk by so many people walking their dogs. Never in my life has it ever crossed my mind, oh my God, this dog might bite me. I've never thought that. So now whenever I see people walking their dogs, I be crossing the street. I don't want to walk. I don't care. I don't care how cute your dog is, because I'm the type oh my God, he's so cute. No. Keep that little demon away from me, because you're not gonna bite my leg off. No. Yeah, very low-key traumatizing experience, because getting bit by an animal like a dog is just scary. It's just scary. It was just scary. So yeah, but I'm okay. It's healed up really nicely, actually. This is really good. No other events that have really happened like that in my life recently, but I did want to talk about two things that are kind of going to flow into each other. So for one, I know that I mentioned in a few vlogs previously that I was having some issues with my car, or that I have been having issues with my car. So that's still going on, and that was months ago when my car first started acting up. That was back in I want to say late May, early June, when my car first started acting up. And my dad is not a mechanic, but he know how to maneuver his way around a vehicle, basically. But there are some things, more complicated things with vehicles, that he doesn't know how to do, or he's not comfortable doing, because he don't want to mess something up, or if he don't know what to do, he's not just going to be pulling parts off, and so the things that he thought were the issue, he fixed them, he worked on them, he bought the parts and everything. And I had my car back for a little while, but then the issues started happening again. So whatever he fixed probably was part of the issue, but it wasn't the whole issue. I ended up having to send my car somewhere to get it done, and it's been there for a while. Like I said, I've had my car back on and off, but it hasn't been fully right since it first stopped working for real. That's been very stressful for me. First of all, it's a lot of money to get your car fixed when there's, a thing, when you have car problems, maintenance problems and things. It's just a lot of money to get it fixed. And then buying the parts and paying for the labor and all of that. And then it's also just stressful when you don't have your car and I can't move around how I want to move around. I've had a pretty boring summer because I haven't had a vehicle, and I haven't really been able to move around, or I haven't had my vehicle consistently to be able to move around and do what I want to do. So my summer 2024 is definitely not one for the books. I don't think I was keeping up with my car maintenance the way that I should have been. So it's when something went wrong, everything went wrong, so everything, there were so many things that needed to be fixed. So that's why I said it just was a lot of money. It took a lot of time to get it all done, but it should be back working. This whole ordeal with my car being in and out of the shop, not working, on and off, working or whatever, has really put it in my head that I might need a new car soon. I really need to lock in on getting a new car. My car is a 2015. It was already used when I got it. It was 4 years old when I got it. I got it in 2019. Like I said, it's a 2015. And y'all, it's about to be 2025. My car is almost 10 years old. I've only had it for about 4 or 5 years, but it's almost 10 years old. So I feel like it's about time to get a new one. And y'all know that I live by myself, right? I pay all of my bills on my own. which, okay, I'm an adult. That's what adults do. But when you have to get your car fixed and you're spending a lot of money to do that, but you're also paying all of your own bills. You're paying rent, you're buying groceries, you're paying the light bill, you're paying the Wi-Fi bill, and you're paying this and you're paying that, and you're paying this and you're paying that, and the car insurance and the car, and you're paying everything. Having this like expense on top of that, or even needing to get a new car on top of that, is a lot. Like, I don't got no man that's paying all the big bills and I'm just paying the little bills. Or I don't got nobody that's paying half and I'm paying half. I'm paying it all. So when things go wrong, I'm paying it all. And thank God for my dad. But at the end of the day, all the bills that I pay them by myself. So needing to get a new car and needing to get my car fixed is just taking a toll on me, I feel like, financially. And yeah, so that's one part of it. So moving into the next part, I think I told y'all I want to move out of here. So I was looking for, earlier this year, I was looking for a new place. I would say around like March, April-ish. I had went on like 3 apartment tours in the same area. So yeah, and I found a couple that I like. I was like, I don't want to renew my lease. So I'm definitely looking for somewhere to go. So I was talking to my mom about it, because you know I'm always talking to my mama about everything, something. So I was like, you know, just telling her, hopefully I can find a place that'll be ready by the time my lease is up, which, you know, an apartment tour is months and months and months and months in advance. You can't really tell what's going to be available by the time I'm ready to move. Like I said, I went on apartment tours in like April, and my lease isn't up until this January. So it's like they can't tell me what's going to be available pretty much a year from then, right? So I was like, yeah, these places are available now, but hopefully like they will have similar units available in January of 2025 when I'm ready to move. And I was like, and if they don't, I don't want to have to renew my lease just because there isn't another place available. My mom was like, girl, you can always move back home for a couple of months. Like if there is a place that'll be available, you know, your lease is up in January. If there's a place that won't be available until February, you're not going to renew your lease just because the next place wasn't available for another month. You can always come back home for a month or two. At first, I was like, girl, no, I'm not coming home. Like, I don't want to move back home. That's not what I want to do. I'm moved down now. I'm on my own. I know what it feels like to really live on my own. And even though bills be kicking my ass, I don't want to move back home. Okay, y'all, we low-key having a hard time filming this video. My battery died. All of my other batteries were also dead, so I had to wait for some of them to charge. This one is not even fully charged, but I do have one on the charger right now. So if this one dies, we should have another one that'll be ready to go. Anyway, let's get back to what I was talking about. Last thing I was saying was how my mom mentioned that I could move back home, and I was like, girl, I don't want to. Then me and my mom got off the phone, and I don't know if it was the same day or just like, you know, a little while later, I was really thinking about it, and I'm like, I really could go back home. Because my mom had also mentioned when we was on the phone, like, and think about, you know, like in those like couple of months that you would be home, if you needed to come home, how much you would be able to save during that time. And, you know, you would just be able to build your savings up a little bit within those couple of months. So when we got off the phone, I was really thinking about it. And I'm like, I can actually go home for longer than a couple of months. And I could really build my savings up. And I can pay my credit card off. And I can work on getting a new car. Like, I'm thinking of all the possibilities, right? I'm like, girl, we might need to move home for a second. And it's not even really a matter of like, oh, I was like struggling to pay my bills, because like I was saying before, my car, you know, having some issues, that was just like one little isolated situation. I never really had any issues like paying my bills. It's not a matter of, oh my God, I have to go back home because I can't afford to live on my own anymore. That's not really the issue, or that's not really the case. But it's just more of a matter of, if I can go back home, if I can go somewhere, which for me is home, where I won't have to pay any rent. My parents are not going to make me pay them anything to live there. Obviously, I will help with like groceries because I'm a grown person and I'm going to be eating, you know, and that's an extra mouth that they're going to have to feed. So I would definitely help with stuff like that. But my parents are not going to ask me to pay no bills. The only thing I will be paying is my own like personal stuff that I will still have to pay. But yeah, like I'm thinking, how much money can I actually save during this time? How quickly can I get my credit card paid off? How quickly can I work on getting a new car if I go back home? Like if I can set myself up to like put myself in a better position financially, I'm gonna do it. If I have the opportunity to do it, I'm gonna do it. And I feel like for a split second, I did not want to move back home because I almost felt like, girl, you're about to be 27. Like by the time my lease is up, I'll be 27. And I'm like, moving back home at 27 is like, ooh, like, come on. But then I really thought about it. It's like, first of all, look at the economy that we're in. That's number one. Second of all, like I said, if I can do something, if you can do something to put yourself in a better position financially, if you have to make a little bit of a sacrifice moving back home with your parents or whatever that sacrifice looks like for you, if it's going to put you ahead of the game, if you got to take a couple steps back to get yourself a few 10 steps forward, do it. Like, do what's going to work best for you, that's going to make your life easier in the long run, or your life better in the long run. Yes, this is a little bit of a setback, I guess you could say, but if it's gonna help me get to a high, like a better place financially, and just like independently wanting to be, independent and not have to ever worry about having to move back home again, then that's what I'm gonna do. So yeah, we're moving back home. The cat is out of the bag. We're moving back home. And yeah, so that's just a decision that I made. And like I said, I was a little bit like on the fence about it because, and then also you kind of start thinking like, what are people gonna think if I move back home with my parents? So they're gonna think like, oh, she couldn't pay her bills, that's why she had to come back home, or she's 27, she moved back home with her parents, But at the end of the day, ain't nobody else paying my bills. Don't nobody else need to be worried about why I'm moving back home or nothing. And nobody has said anything like that to me. Nobody has insinuated anything like that to me. But you kind of get in your head a little bit, and that's what you think that people are gonna say, or you're just worried about what are people gonna think if I move back home. But I don't care, because like I said, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this for my financial stability. So I'm not really worried about what it will look like to other people, what it'll look like to my family, what it'll look like to my peers, what they'll think, what they'll say. I don't care, because I'm putting myself in a better position. So in a year or two, I'm going to be in a much better position than I'm in right now. Not that I'm in a bad position, because I'm definitely not, but you know what I'm saying? You can always be in a better position, specifically financially. I'm actually very excited about it now. I have been very excited about it ever since I made the full decision to move back home. I'm excited how it's gonna help me, how I'm gonna grow financially, get some debt paid off, and hopefully work on getting a new car and everything. I just feel like it's a glow up. It's a time, you know what I'm saying? It's that time where I'm really gonna lock in, and when I come out on the other end of it, it's gonna be a glow up. I'm just very excited about it. So I am going back home. I'm not 100% sure how long I'm gonna be home yet. I don't really have a super strict timeline on it. I would say no longer than a year. At first I had said 6 months, but I think I could take a little bit more time to be home. So I think a year sounds good. Once I actually get home and get everything planned out as far as what I'll need to be paying while I'm home, so what's gonna go to bills or whatever, and then what's gonna go to my savings, what's gonna go to my credit card, what's gonna go to a car. Once I get all of that mapped out and planned out, then I'll be able to set more of a strict timeline. And I kind of have planned it out a little bit. I've done a little bit of calculations, but I will know for sure what everything's going to look like once I get home. So yeah, I'm excited. And in January, I will be back home. I'm going to have most of my stuff moved back home by Christmas, because I just kind of want to be comfortable at home when Christmas comes around. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm excited. And I'm excited because I'm so over this apartment. I'm so extremely blessed and thankful and grateful to have my own place and for this to be my first place on my own. But I don't know, I'm just not inspired by this place anymore. And by inspired, I don't mean creatively inspired necessarily. I mean kinda, but I just mean in general, in life, this place just, I feel like it just does not align with me anymore. I definitely want something different. I want a new space. I want new energy. I just want new, right? And even just I don't know. The apartment complex in general just does not align with what I want in an apartment complex anymore. I feel like this was my first place. Your first place, I feel like that's where you're kind of learning what you want, what you don't want. And so now I know what I want and what I don't want, and I'm ready to go to another place. So yeah, I will be looking for apartments. Like I said, I'll be home for probably about a year. And then after that, we'll be looking for apartments. So that'll be later on down the line. But y'all will come along with me for that as well. But yeah, I really just wanted to touch on like moving back home, because I know that it can feel like scary, or like I said, you don't know what people are going to think. You're worried about if people are going to judge you for moving back home. If you're too old, or if you're of a certain age, people are like, why are you moving back home? Like, or, oh, she couldn't pay her bills, or, whatever. Don't worry about nothing like that. Do what is going to be best for you. This is your life. And if you have parents who, like my parents, who are happy for me to come back home if I need to, and who are supportive in that way, and are welcoming me back home with open arms, please go back home if you need to, or if you feel like, even if you don't need to, because like I said, in this instance, I don't really need to go back home. My whole plan was to be moving to another place, but I'm really just taking this as like a opportunity to, like I said, get myself in a better place financially. But if you need to go home, or you want to go home, you want to save some more, you want to do this, you want to do that, and you have the ability to go back home, go. Because there are so many people our age, whoever, who can't go back home. They don't have anywhere to go back to. So it's like they're just kind of like struggling on their own. So if you don't have to struggle on your own, go home, go somewhere, get yourself together, and then come back when you're in a better position. You will thank yourself later. So let's take another sip before we wrap it up. Yeah, this wasn't supposed to be no super long video. I just kind of wanted to update y'all on that. So in the next coming months, I will be like moving back home. I'll be packing my stuff up. My vlogs after that will be me back at home with my parents and my brother. So yeah, it'll be an experience, but I don't know. Because even when I go back home now, like on the weekends and stuff, like if I go home for a weekend or something, typically for like a holiday or something, I'll be ready to come back to this place. Even though I don't want to live in this apartment anymore, it's still my space. I still enjoy being here by myself. So when I be going home for the weekend, I'll be like, oh my God, can't wait to go. Can't wait. I'm ready to go back home. So moving back home and not like having anywhere else to go, not having my own space. And y'all know my parents' house is pretty small. So it's just kind of like, you don't really have a whole lot of like private time or like private space, So that'll be a little bit of an adjustment going back home for sure. But like I said, I'm still excited. I know my mom is very excited for me to come back home. She misses me so bad. She just misses me so bad. And she's excited for me to come back home for a little while. She knows I'm not staying, for extended periods of time. But for the smaller amount of time that I am going to be home, she's very excited to have me. And, I'll be helping her with like her home projects and stuff, because I know it's some stuff that she wants to do with the house, like, painting the bathroom and doing stuff in the kitchen and whatever, and I love helping her with stuff like that anyway, because that's where me and my mama click. We love little stuff like that. So yeah, I'm excited to go back home and, obviously be with my dad and my brother and Buddha. So yeah, that's my little life update. Y'all will be with me through the whole journey anyway. I actually like move like to another apartment when I'm apartment shopping again. Y'all will be along for that. But like I said, that won't be for another year. We'll have a whole lot that's going on in between then. But yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. Hope that y'all enjoyed this video, that y'all enjoyed this little update. Just wanted to talk to y'all real quick, okay? So yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in my next video.